Knapsack is infrastructure for digital product organizations. We help teams connect source design assets with source code assets so that they can get teams aligned, work faster as humans, and also pave the way towards automation and radically more efficient digital production. To start, we bring design and code together in a single environment. This allows us to power documentation with dynamic assets that feed directly from the work happening, in this case by engineers building components, or if we look at our Figma API connection, pulling assets directly from the design environment where the details are being specified, including data of how different design elements are expected to perform once built. We allow teams to combine that with real code implementations, providing side-by-side views to help teams understand when their expectations are aligned and when they're not, well before they get to critical parts of the project where delays happen. Our dynamic playgrounds allow anyone to get hands-on with the components and see what's possible within the constraints of the system as it's been developed today. We take that a bit further though and allow teams to actually get a bird's eye view of their reusable design and code solutions. Here I'm looking at an overview of all of the different patterns and components we use and can see where they exist in Figma, how they exist across documentation, and how they exist across one or multiple code implementations. We also use data extracted from Figma combined with data from the code implementations to provide system maintainers a view into how functionally aligned their different component implementations are across design and code, or across design and multiple implementations, as we see here in our own design system, Toby. This bridge of data allows us to not only help teams ensure the implementations are aligned, but paves the way towards automation, allowing us to pass data between a design asset and code assets. Knapsack also provides teams the ability to build and prototype with their production components by allowing anyone to come in and understand exactly what's possible with the assets that our teams had already built and designed. We eliminate so much of the inefficiency and duplication that comes from teams starting from scratch in a design environment every time. Here I'm quickly building a section of a page using existing components and fleshing out specific details like CTAs for calls to action that can allow me to enable my marketing managers and product owners to experiment with what we can do within the parameters we've already defined and implemented that we believe represent highly reusable solutions. This ensures that teams actually spend their high effort design and engineering work on implementations and new creations and modifications that we explicitly understand we need to do. We can even go so far as to allow teams to build full page prototypes and interact with different themes or apply new themes on the fly by going in and actually managing how these different assets are created. Here we see this brand Arcadia is based in purple, and if I were to go into my token set here, which represents the same concepts we see in Figma variables but translated into a true code implementation, I could take Arcadia, change the theme to be maybe a nice light medium green, go back to my prototypes, and we'll see the ability to update these in real time. Arcadia that was purple is now green. This gives teams so much power to work within the constraints of their real system. Everything you're seeing here is underpinned by real code, our own code as a team that manages the system that we're using here in Knapsack, and allows everyone to expedite so much of the digital production process just by letting teams build and implement with production code. Whether that's from a UI input here, an automated or generative AI input, or feeding directly from Figma through our API connections. There's so much power that becomes possible once we connect source design to source code and underpin it with structured data. And what you're seeing is the tip of the iceberg.